So last weekend, my buddy Dave invited me over to his apartment to show off, in his words, the next great innovation in pet entertainment. I figured this meant he'd finally bought one of those fancy water fountain bowls for his cat, Whiskers, or maybe invested in a laser pointer that didn't immediately get lost under the couch. Instead, he announced that he had successfully taught Whiskers to play fetch, and honestly, I was pretty skeptical. I mean, cats are more likely to file your taxes than bring you a slobbery tennis ball. Dave, undeterred, whipped out a tiny plush mouse and tossed it across the living room. To my surprise, Whiskers trotted after it, picked it up, and brought it back. But instead of dropping the mouse at Dave's feet, she looked directly into his eyes, let out the most dramatic sigh I've ever heard from a feline, and then deposited the toy right on top of Dave's unopened copy of The Myth of Sisyphus. Dave tried again, and this time, Whiskers brought back a crumpled utility bill and just stared at us in silence, like she was trying to communicate something about the futility of paying for heat in February. By the third throw, Whiskers had started branching out. She fetched a copy of Dave's college rejection letter, a mostly empty bottle of wine, and, most alarmingly, a single sock that neither of us recognized. Each time, she would sit in front of Dave, tail flicking, giving off the vibe of a life coach who's read too much Kierkegaard. I could see Dave's enthusiasm waning as Whiskers seemed determined to remind him of every minor disappointment and existential question he'd ever faced. At one point, I half expected her to drag out a mirror so Dave could really stare into the abyss. By the end of the night, Dave was slumped on his couch, surrounded by a pile of metaphors and regret, while Whiskers gave him a look that said, "Fetch isn't just a game, it's a journey." So, if anyone's looking to borrow a cat who can fetch existential dread, be careful what you teach them. Turns out, she's not a retriever. She's a ponderer.